Welcome to the Create Your Empowered Self podcast. This how-to podcast is focused on empowering you to live your best life by incorporating the principles of the law of attraction, NLP, meditation, and other spiritual teachings. I'm Jeannie Hall, a certified NLP practitioner and creative empowerment coach. Let's get you empowered. Hello and welcome to the Create Your Empowered Self podcast. This is episode 18, Our Own Worst Enemies. So what is up with those evil little minds of ours? Have you ever had someone be late for like a meeting or a date? Or maybe your significant other is late getting home for dinner, and your mind immediately jumps to the worst possible scenario. So like if it's a date, let's say, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, your immediate assumption is that they stood you up. Or if your significant other is late, you instantly think, oh, they're being so disrespectful of our family obligations. Or maybe you even wonder if they're doing something they shouldn't be behind your back, when really all it is they got tied up at work. So I was inspired to share this with all of you lovely listeners out there because I recently fell prey to this myself. I expected to hear back from a family member, and when I didn't, my mind just spiraled with all these crazy scenarios like, why? I thought they wanted to go to lunch. They're the one who contacted me. Why aren't they responding now that I'm trying to contact them back? Or, do they not care about the limited time that I have available? I'm very busy, and why aren't they getting back with me? And even start wondering if they're okay. So I started thinking, oh God, what if they're upside down in a ditch somewhere? What if something horrible happened? And that's why they're not getting back to me. So there's that kind of thing that happens. And I also had someone hire me and then not stay in contact after agreeing to hire me. And so when a couple of weeks went by after the agreement was made, my mind started to spin this really nasty web of things like, I thought I connected with this person, but maybe I didn't. Maybe that person didn't like what I said, even though they sounded like they did at the time. Maybe I'm not good enough as a coach. Maybe I'm not smart enough, worthy enough, etc., 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 right? We start doubting ourselves. We start questioning our worth and our abilities and all those types of things, that negative little evil voice that's such a little bastard, right? It comes in and just tears us a new one. So just to give you an example, everybody's human. I certainly am. And even as coaches get plagued by doubt sometimes. So why do our minds do this to us? Why do we become our own worst enemies? And the reason for this is that you have to remember our minds were developed in a time when survival of the fittest was very much in effect. It was eat or be eaten, kill or be killed. So going outside at the wrong time might mean that you got eaten by a bear or a tiger or a lion or something else. And crossing a field without being wary enough might mean being exposed to a rampaging herd of buffalo or a herd of elephants or any other number of massive creatures out there that were bigger and stronger than we were. So if wandering off the trail a little can actually lead to a quick and unexpected end, well, it's no wonder our minds got in the habit of taking life really seriously. Maybe a little too seriously even, especially whenever you look at it from our point of view right now. We know now that the instant we walk out of our house, there's not going to be a lion in wait in our yard ready to devour us, right? That's just not a thing that happens anymore. We live in civilized places. We live in places where, or at least the vast majority of us live in places where that's not an issue. We have protection. We have safety. But if we don't feel like we do, then that's another issue altogether. So no matter what we're faced with, whether it's large or small, though, again, our minds are still jumping back to that lion appearing out of nowhere and thinking, oh God, we're going to die, right? So if your friend or family member didn't call you back within 5 minutes of you texting them, right? It can maybe just mean that she forgot, or maybe she's tied up or busy right now. It doesn't mean that she is just hates your guts for no apparent reason now, right? That's probably not a thing. Or if your boss has been quieter with you than usual, then it doesn't necessarily mean you're about to get fired, but that may be what your mind does. Your mind, being your own worst enemy, may jump immediately to, oh God, I'm about to get fired, I'm about to get written up, I'm about to get in trouble, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to lose my house, lose my car, I'm going to lose everything. All because your boss has something going on with them, right? There's nothing to do with you, most likely. Or maybe your significant other, your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, didn't say that they loved you before they hung up. So that must mean that they're mad, right? Why are they mad at me? What's going on? Why didn't they say I love you, right? It doesn't necessarily mean anything, especially not anything negative. But any of those situations can throw us into this crazy panic attack because our minds jump to those crazy conclusions like that. So the next time this happens, or if it's happening to you right now, I'd like you to try this technique because it's really helped me personally. Think of something positive and believable that you can say to yourself in those moments to keep your mind from becoming your enemy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to your situation, but it can be. So let me give you an example. Let's say your friend didn't call you back. What is the simplest and most reasonable explanation for that? What about she just forgot, right? You called her and she got busy and she noticed your text or your call, but she just forgot. And then a day goes by, or maybe 2, before she gets back to you. What is something that in that situation you could tell yourself to keep your mind from going crazy, right? From just spiraling into this negativity. What you could tell yourself is, my friend loves me. We have a great friendship. Everything is fine, right? Or anything along those lines. Anything that feels real to you in relation to your friendship. And what you'll do is you'll pick something like that and you'll say it over and over and over and over and over. And what you'll do is you'll make this your mantra. So you'll keep your friend at the forefront of your mind. If she hasn't already called you, then she probably will, especially if you're keeping her at the front of your mind. It kind of helps that connection be made a little sooner even. So just be patient and know that she will call you. Let's say you're in a similar position to myself and you're working on getting enough resources together to leave a day job, let's say. So that's my own personal struggle right now. I've been struggling with my position at this job I have, and I have let my mind off and on, and here lately it's happened again, where I've let my mind poison me with these negative thoughts, and I'll be working and going through my day-to-day activities on the job, and I'll start getting upset, and I'll start getting worried, and I'll start getting panicked and all these things. So I become my own worst enemy because I get frustrated and stressed out. And I know that that is not the kind of energy that I want to send out into the universe. Since I'm a strong believer in the law of attraction and the other universal laws, I know that the universe is a mirror. And becoming my own worst enemy is only going to bring more of what I do not want. So knowing I needed to focus on something better, something good, I decided to be open to whatever way the universe provides for me to leave. Because deep down, I know that that's coming and that it's coming soon. I know that. Sometimes it's hard to be patient. Sometimes it's hard to be living in a frustrated way with the work that I'm doing, especially when I know what I want to do and I'm trying to transition into that. Sometimes that makes, when you know what you want so clearly, sometimes it makes being patient with the other situation that you don't want even more difficult. And that's kind of where I am. So if you're in transition right now, then I am right there with you, definitely. So I decided that, I needed to focus on this and see what I could do to make it feel better. And I realized it doesn't necessarily, before I think part of my problem too is I was being too narrow-minded about it. I was being too specific, and I was thinking, well, I can only leave when I have this number of clients on long-term contracts with me. That's the only way it's going to work, is if I have this many clients and they've all agreed to be with me for a long time or something like that. That could be the way I leave, but it doesn't have to be. And another way, I thought, well, I can't leave until one or more of my books suddenly becomes a bestseller. Again, that's locking myself up into a situation I have no control over. I don't have control over the number of people who start making appointments with me. I just don't. I don't have control over how many people buy my book or hear about my books that I have, and it could be that. It's not saying that I couldn't become an instant bestseller overnight, but I don't know, right? It could be, and I'm open to that, but I'm not going to limit myself either and say that's the only way I can leave my job, right? And it doesn't have to be any one single thing. It could be something I haven't even considered that happens, that causes this opportunity to happen, that enables me to leave in a very good situation, a very good way. And, it could be a sudden windfall from out of nowhere that I had no idea it even existed. It could be an offer that leads to numerous other opportunities that open up things and make everything work better, and suddenly I have the means to leave. So, kind of based on that last idea of numerous other opportunities that could be out there, I came up with a very specific mantra. And what I was saying to myself was, I believe opportunities are opening up for me everywhere. And I just kept saying it over and over. So anytime I would be at work and I would be stressed and I would be frustrated, I'd be frustrated with the situation. I might be frustrated with a boss or something that had come down from on high, right? The CEO or whatever had sent a memo and, or email about this, and it stressed me out. And I'm now getting into the habit of keeping myself from getting worked up and upset by saying that mantra over and over and over. So I would just, under my breath or to myself or just in my own head, if someone was around, I would say in my head, I believe opportunities are opening up for me everywhere. I believe opportunities are opening up for me everywhere. I believe opportunities are opening up for me everywhere, right? And like magic, I'm able to turn my negative thoughts and feelings into positive ones, into better ones. So if you're in this situation and you find yourself turning into your own worst enemy, I would like you to try this technique and see how it goes for you. and let me know. Let me know in the comments. You can leave a comment on creativeempowermentcoach.com attached to this particular episode on the blog. You can leave a review on iTunes, or however, you can even contact me on my contact page or at jeannie@writinginyourjammies.com. However you want to do it, I'd love to know, if you use this technique, how it works for you. So take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And Father's Day is coming up, so have a happy Father's Day. And try this technique and let me know how it goes. And as always, have an empowered day, week, month, and year. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening to the Create Your Empowered Self podcast. If you've enjoyed this content or found it helpful, please let me know by leaving a review. I upload podcasts every Wednesday and Saturday, so subscribe to receive these regular updates. Now, go out there and live a more empowered life.